Okay, it's 8:30. We'll start our January meeting of the nuisance board. We have a quorum, and so the first item of business is approval of minutes from our December 17th meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve those if there are no corrections.
I'll make a motion that we approve the December 17th Berne Nuisance Review Board meeting minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by John. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Next item is property review. You have copies of pictures that were taken recently.
So
And-
these pictures, are they dated the 15th of December?
Yeah, the first two properties are the ones we gave until April
Okay,
1st to
I got you.
get things cleaned up. I just left them on there so we wouldn't forget about them.
Cool.
Okay, so the first one is the 466 Baltimore Street. And if you remember from our last meeting, we had given them until April 1st to, mainly due to the weather,
Depends.
to put a fence up and clean up some of the other things that are there. Any comments on that one?
Have we put anything in the ordinance, added anything that would prohibit some of these folks?
We haven't changed the ordinance yet, John.
Are we thinking about?
Yeah, we're gonna
Are we
look at
thinking
that.
about putting some more teeth in it?
We're thinking about changing the ordinance. What that entails, we don't know yet.
Right.
Okay, so,
Well, we need to think seriously. The people in Berne are asking.
understand,
They really are.
understand.
Yeah.
So, but we have to, we're planning to, I guess, and I think Ron was gonna touch base on this a little later, but we're planning to get copies of some other ordinances, Bluffton, Decatur, maybe some in Ohio, whatever, just to see what they have in and see what we can do
Good
for
idea.
changing that.
Good.
So, do you want to elaborate on anything, Ron? Go ahead.
No, I'll wait for the end
Okay.
under board comments.
So the first one has, we gave him an April 1st deadline, like it says at the top. The next one is 753 North Jefferson. That was also an April 1st deadline. Um, 306 Wind Ridge Trail. That involves a truck and I think a vehicle in the driveway. And
If I could, Mayor.
yeah, go-
The meeting minutes from the last December 17th meeting, I mean, I think are pretty pertinent to what we agreed to. I think we said the resident stated that the F-150 Ford pickup that is parked along the street has a title but no legal plates. So he's unable to afford plates at this time. So that was one thing to discuss. The Ford Ranger and Ford Mustang remain on the property and do not have titles. Shannon Smitley will reach out to someone about possible scrapping the two vehicles for Mr. Bradburn. If the individual is interested, a letter will be sent to Mr. Bradburn and will suggest the individual's name and contact. So I think, just my opinion, back to the F-150 Ford pickup truck, I have not gone down by the property to see if it has legal plates on it or not. But if it does not have plates at this point in time, my suggestion is out of today's meeting that they get a letter specifically stating that that pickup truck needs to be plated or they will be fined. Because
Yeah.
that's what we've done with everybody else.
In a certain amount of days.
Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
10 days.
I mean, that's fine with me.
Yeah,
But we've done this with properties on Jefferson Street, on Center Street, so I think we can't just say that he's unable to afford plates, because everybody could use that justification. And I would think with a vehicle of that age, I don't think the plates are gonna be that expensive. Yeah, I don't know what they are, but I mean, it can't be that, but we can't let that, we can't treat them differently than we've treated 4 or 5 other residents. I don't think that's fair. So I think that needs to be,
Instead of paying a fine, they use that money toward
like I
plates.
said, if you don't do it, we're gonna fine you $100, and that's gonna be more expensive than the plate. So that's one vehicle on the property. As far as the other vehicles, I know, like we've stated with other properties, doing something with like that truck in the back right now with his cold and his wet and stuff as it is. I mean, I'm okay with it not being addressed, but I think there needs to be a date on those other 2 vehicles that they're removed by April 1st, just like we gave the other residents. So as far as that property, those are the 2 things that I wanted to suggest from today's meeting that we send them letters on.
Well, that gives them ample time.
And I know Shannon had said he was gonna contact someone, but I don't know if that ever
Well,
happened, and he's
So
not.
Kelly says here that the scrapper will try to contact,
Okay.
to remove it.
Shannon sent me an email on Friday that says that he reached out to his contact about the vehicles on the Wind Ridge Trail, the Ford Ranger and the Mustang. He said he would be interested, but needs to know if the guy is expecting to be paid. As he said, cars are worth $125 and they take a lot of work to go through, et cetera. So I need some details or the phone number to give him and go from there. So we sent Shannon the phone number. Kelly sent him the phone number so he could pass that along to his contact. So that's the comment. That's
Well, then, knowing that now, if we want to wait until the next meeting to see whether the scrapper and the resident and Shannon have all gotten together, that would be our February meeting. At the February meeting, we could still give a April 1st date
to be
based.
I don't think anything will happen, because when Michael was in here in the lobby, he said he was expecting like $500 per vehicle. And that scrapper's not gonna pay $500 per vehicle.
Okay.
So I feel like we're just prolonging it. Wait till the next meeting.
You may want to still consider, if we're going to be sending a letter about the vehicle in the front,
Mhm.
why not add to it and give them an April 1st date? And
And
once again, if he's going to end up paying fines, that's going to reduce how much he's going to net out less. So
And Ron,
Might need to take
what's
less.
your thought on the red pickup truck in the back that's been there for how long?
that's what we were talking about. Those are the items that Shannon Smelly thought he had a scrapper that would, work with them. Based on Kelly's opinion is the resident thinks they're worth $500 a piece. Is it a piece or,
Mhm. Yeah,
which the scrapper's not going to give him that. So I would say just giving them a date of April the 1st, they need to be removed one way or another, just like we did on Baltimore Street and just like we did on Jefferson Street. And we're basically, by the time we get to the April, nuisance review board meeting, those 3 properties should be addressed going into
Well, that gives
summer.
them ample time.
if not, there may be some fines assessed in April.
We're being compassionate, we're being considerate, we're being judicious as far as getting something moving, just like we have with all the other properties we've worked with, but we need to address this.
yeah, I know. I had a neighbor that lives to the south of him. A complain about the property, and that's been over 6 months ago. And now they're building a new home directly behind him. And I'm sure that the new residents there don't want to look over and see that ranger in the backyard. And as far as him not being able to come to the meetings, he's an Uber driver. His schedule would be flexible. So I feel like there's just excuse after excuse, and it's time to stop prolonging it and start getting things done. Not just for the city, but also for the neighbors.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what the nuisance review ordinance is in place. It's not for us, it's for the people who live around those properties.
Ron, you mentioned an F-150. Where is that?
It's in the front.
Right on,
Right on the
It's
street.
parked on the street.
well, it
It
says
was, it
F-
was,
yeah.
earlier pictures had it parked on, it was parked on the street. I'm not sure where it is now.
It
Like
was in
in-
front of that Explorer.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was in front of
it
the.
was in front of this vehicle to the east, if it's still there. So it's like east of the driveway. The driveway, and then there was an Explorer and then another truck.
So that gives them over 60 days. So April 1, if nothing's happened, the fines start on April 1. Do I understand this correctly? If he's got 70 plus days here to clean this up. And it's like she said, it's been there a long, long time. The leniency it's got to stop.
I think
It's
what,
just-
I think what I don't think you need to take action on that today, but I think you need to assume that that's the end of the line. And in the April meeting, if it's not by April 1, in your April meeting, you have to strongly consider that.
Well, I think on the F-150 and the plates, that needs to be addressed
Absolutely.
immediately. And if
That's
it
a
hasn't
10-day.
been, if it hasn't been by the February meeting, when we reconvene, then fines need to start. I mean, we can say, to your point, Dwight, 10 days. But if we're back together at the February meeting and we're looking at a picture and that picture shows an unplated vehicle, then they'll start getting fined that day as far as I'm concerned. So who does the meeting minutes? Kelly, is
Is
that
that
you
all?
or Callum?
Is that all in your motion, Ron?
Want to read all that?
Kelly can figure that out. So,
She can turn it into a motion, I think.
okay, that's my motion.
Is there a second? Okay, Tim, all in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign.
But what I was gonna say is, Kelly, thank you for taking such copious notes. It allows us to be able to go back at this meeting to what we discussed at the previous meeting and give us some cohesiveness. So thank you.
Kelly, would it be in order for you maybe to get back with this person who is interested in how it looks that we're doing something? I'm just asking.
Yeah, I can send him a letter and let him know that we're working on
I
it.
think that would be in order. I think it'd be a good idea.
Okay, the next property is 686 Westlake Strasse. I believe she continues to work on the things that are outside still. It's kind of hard to tell whether it's better or worse, but I don't think it's worse.
What are the reasons for not doing something about it?
Well, I think we sent him a letter and she cleaned a lot of it up, right?
Yeah, and she had medical issues where she couldn't lift or something in some towns, so she couldn't physically do it herself.
You have here the 1215 and the 120 photos, but the earliest photo that was really problematic, that's not here. I mean, the 1215 has improvements.
Yeah.
Oh, large improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from what it was originally.
It is on how much to where her vehicle
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And yesterday, the trailer, I believe, was gone, and now it's the golf cart and something behind that tarp.
That is kennel.
No, she's got kennels on the south side of the house, back behind the garage. Maybe she's another one that you get till a certain time frame to get the rest of it cleaned up, I don't know.
Makes sense to me.
You could send another letter giving her a time frame to get the rest of it cleaned up.
If we don't, it will continue to look like that.
In fact, in the last 30 days, it's gotten worse.
At this point, in this picture, I don't see junk. Can somebody point out junk? I'm not seeing, I see a golf cart, and I see a barrier,
I mean, what are we,
but I don't,
What are
outside
we
the golf
asking
cart
them?
barrier, I don't see any.
what are we asking them to do beyond what they've already done?
And she's done a tremendous amount.
Yeah, like I said, the one that was really bad.
Yeah.
That picture's
Yeah.
from a few months ago.
You know, she's got, what is the vehicle? Is it a golf cart or something else?
I'm trying to see, what's the black thing there? Is that a storage container or is it?
It's like a barrier, a tarp barrier or something.
I mean, she's put barrier around the stuff on the driveway.
So is this a golf cart or a garden
Yeah.
tractor?
This is the golf cart.
It's a golf cart, so up by beside it.
Uh-huh.
So Dave, there's not a homeowners association in the Strasses that has documentation of what they can and can't have in their
There are
driveway.
protective covenants, but there aren't any, there's no association. So it's just under our nuisance ordinance. My one point would be as to, she has the something's square or something cubed is tarp, it looks like to me.
Yeah, I think there's
But-
stuff behind it probably, yeah.
So I guess what I'm getting at there is how's that different than someone putting a storage container in their driveway that we don't allow?
It's kind of
I
construction.
think she's made some real progress, but it's not completely done yet.
I think asking her if she has a plan on what's in that storage area is probably the fair thing to ask. I mean, is she leaving it there because of her medical issues and the weather? Or is she just planning to leave it there forever?
Ron, would you consider talking with her and finding out what we're wondering?
I mean, I can. I mean, if someone has a phone number.
So do we have, I'm just looking at her house compared to the 466 Baltimore who put up the, I don't know, the tent-like thing. What's our ordinance state about, like
Temporary
Baltimore, are we
storage.
gonna have a problem with
Right.
his little thing?
It's
Because that's kind of
the
what
Same
she's,
construction, it's made out of tubes and has a barrier on it.
But isn't the Baltimore's all supposed to be behind a fence? It's not-
Brian had said that would all be
behind the
moved
fence.
behind the fence
Okay.
once the fence is erected, so.
Kind of interesting that he gave him till April 1 to put up a fence. I have a friend in Van Wert who is in the tile business in fields. The ground is not froze. He's ditching today. He says the ground is not froze. So we were more than lenient on April 1.
No question.
Yeah. And I was just told that last Thursday night.
Yeah, I think do we have a complaint form on file for this property that someone submitted, a neighbor or somebody? Okay. I mean, I think we probably owe it to whoever submitted the complaint form to communicate with them on what we've done, what we're doing. But yeah, I would be willing to talk to Ms. Bollenbacher and just ask the question about this storage area, that is really still the question the nuisance review board has. I mean, people park golf carts in their driveways, so I mean, I can't take too much exception to that, but what's the plan on the storage? Is it's gonna go away when the weather gets better, or what? So I'd be more than willing to do that.
I mean, she had on 686, she had time to put out Christmas decorations on the poles, but she hasn't had time to clean up the front porch. Isn't that amazing? It's priorities. If I was a neighbor there,
She's done a lot of cleaning up. I think she's probably at the point she thinks it's pretty good.
That's why we need to ask about that storage.
yeah,
Because she has done a lot out there. Compared to when we
Yeah,
first
that
got the
first
complaint, it's a big improvement.
The neighbors say it's a lot better than what it was. They
according to the picture of this
told
week.
me that. And it is a lot better than what it was.
Who keeps lawn furniture out all winter long on the front porch?
Go by my house.
We don't have anything in the nuisance ordinance about lawn furniture, right?
I have mine out on my patio.
That's your patio, yeah, in the back.
I got mine on my front porch. And patio.
Okay, is there anything else on this property?
Yeah.
I'll be willing. If somebody gets me a phone number, I'll get a hold of them. I mean, I know the family. I don't mind talking to her.
Okay, 104 East Water. Majority of the lawn chairs have been moved to the east side of the home, which I think is what we had asked at the last meeting.
They told us at that meeting that they would have it cleaned up the next day. And it has not been cleaned up. I hope we're not talking about this property before Swiss days. Because this is an eyesore to the city of Berne. This is an eyesore.
So going back again to our December meeting, I mean, what we said at that meeting was all of the items in the pictures that we had sent to them for the December meeting, the growth on the backside and several other things, they had addressed those things. So we considered those addressed. Dwight, you brought up the lawn chairs and they said they would do something. And I looked the other day, they did. They moved them on the
They
east
moved them
side.
here and there, yeah.
No, they moved them on the east side of the property.
Well, according to this, they're on the west side.
No.
Yeah, right here they are.
They still have some, but remember they had
Oh,
an
yeah.
excess.
The ones on the north side of the house is the ones that you were referring to, I believe, that you wanted to move to the east. That's where the majority of the chairs were, if I remember right.
Well, if that's what they understood, then I misspoke because I was talking about the west side and the north side. This is,
There are a couple of them out there on the west
oh
side.
yeah,
I don't know if we can police lawn chairs.
Lawn chairs, yeah.
I just don't understand how we can go in and say, you have to move your lawn furniture because I don't like it there.
You know, the question is whether it's junk or not.
Yeah.
And, it is zone residential. And so, they have a door on the west side, they can have chairs there. They have a door on the north side, they can have chairs there.
I think it goes back to perception, really. When I had, at the Chris Kindle Market, had people from Indianapolis that had driven around Berne before they came to the market. And I was in the information booth. And the comment that they said was, we came to Berne and we were surprised how trashy it looked. Now, there's a perception from a big city. And now I've got something on my phone from a former Berne resident that can't believe what's happening to this town as to when they used to live here. So, with that being said, it's up to powers to be to put more teeth in the ordinance. To me, this is an eyesore here at 104. This is an eyesore. I don't care if it's lawn furniture or porta potties. It's an eyesore. And this is what out-of-towners are seeing when they come to Berne. And this is one of the main intersections in Berne, off of Main Street. Something needs to be done. More teeth. I see what you're saying, Tim, is, it's lawn furniture, they can do with it what they want. But it's an eyesore, let's face it.
Well, as I said earlier, Dwight, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get copies of some ordinances from other towns around here, but we haven't done that yet. We will do that. But it takes time to get the copies of the ordinances, to go through those and make changes to ours and then have it voted on by city council. That's not gonna happen tomorrow.
Will that be able to be reviewed by our next meeting, what you just suggested?
It depends how soon we get copies of the ordinances.
We can give an update at the next meeting on what city council has been able to do at that point. I mean, it's gonna take several months for research to be done and for, discussion to occur with city council about this section, that section. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, but I guess, Mayor, I'm just gonna go ahead and say what I was gonna say.
Can I just jump in? I think there's merit to, once we do know what some other communities have, how they've addressed lawn chairs or not, things like that. I think that maybe should come to this board, discuss it here, and then this board recommend to council.
Yeah.
So.
I'll hold on there until we go on to Bryan Street and some of the others.
No, I'm not sure, Dwight. I'm not sure. I mean, do we put in the ordinance something like no more than so many chairs per square foot? I don't know what you do. It's tough to legislate good taste.
I don't know what the answer is either.
Yeah.
But it's that perception when out-of-towners come here, what they think of our city. It's just,
Well, we're not Carmel.
no, we're not Carmel.
And everybody has different financial situations as well.
But they had the
That much,
financial
yeah.
situation to put the stuff there in the first place.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's more than just the lawn chairs that your opinion is towards. And maybe they can't afford, to fix siding or whatever it may be. Or get some kind of storage unit to put behind to put their chairs in. Maybe they financially can't afford that. And we gotta keep that in mind too.
If we had a lot of homes in our city that looked like this, enough said. Let me read to you this thing that I received from a former Bernite that was here over the holidays. Just read the debacle re-city properties that are less than desirable. Go get them.
Put some of these properties beside us.
So are they referencing the newspaper article or what are they referencing?
That's what they're referencing, what they read in the newspaper.
Okay.
Thank you. It should have been there. So the people in Berne, we got enough people in this city that don't want to make waves. And if you don't make waves, nothing gets done. It's very simple. It's as plain as the nose on our face. If we don't keep after it, it's only going to get worse. Let me continue. She says in her HOA, now granted, this is a place not in Berne, Indiana.
HOA.
Keep the garage doors closed. It says boats, campers are a no-no. Only so many in-laws allowed living in a house. Very low HOA fees. I could go on, but I won't. These people don't want to be known who this is, so nobody here will know who this is. But lived in Berne for years and they're gone. My question is, as far as the boats and the campers go, what is the city doing with the old Dunbar property? Why couldn't we have people put boats, recreational vehicles, whatever it may be, in that property? Just a thought. It's just sitting there empty. It would get rid of the recreational vehicles and boats on properties if the city would provide an area over there that's, I don't know what's happening with that. Does anybody know? Nothing. Nothing. It's just empty property that could be utilized for these items that are eyesores. I'm done.
On to Bryan Street?
Yeah.
I think I can get to that car.
You can
Yeah,
now.
Kelly and I talked over the phone. I perceived it being parked real close to the fence where you couldn't see it. But it looks like, and I can go talk to Angie. I don't have a problem with that.
So you'll check.
Yeah, I'll check it.
Okay. That's the only issue with that property, right? Was the blue car? Okay. Okay, next one is 465 Sprunger Street. There are no mowers out in front of the house.
You're right. He sold them.
And this one, huh?
He sold them.
Yeah. And I think this is the owner that was here last time said he was gonna put a stone drive in the back of the house once he could move the ground or whatever. Is that what he said? That's what he said.
It looked like they've already been working back in there, trying to get ready to put one up.
So that he had a place to park his trailer, right? That's if I remember right.
And you would think maybe that the owner of that property would have some influence.
Well, I think the owner was here at one of our meetings. I don't know if he was here at the last one too.
Sure,
So,
he was here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but right now there's nothing wrong with the property.
I don't agree. I'm just saying, you
And so we gotta give him a chance to put that driveway
know,
in.
I got you.
I think this owner has been pretty responsive to helping get it along to a place where it currently is, and I can't speak for the owner, But I think the owner has given them some direction that if you don't clean this up, we're probably gonna be looking for new tenants. So I think we need to continue to work with owners just as much as the residents, if not even more so, because they're the owners of the property. I mean, we talked about this before, they would be the ones getting fined anyways, right?
Okay. I don't know of anything under other unless somebody else has it.
We don't have any new
Main
complaint
Street.
forms, right?
Right. We don't have any complaint.
Greg.
Yeah.
Let's think about on Main Street, catty corner from Hemstead's Construction. That, what we said is wide open. They said when we build a garage, is there any thought that maybe we need to put a time in regard to that? If you've been around that place, so as you know, it's a mess.
Did Shannon say they pulled a building permit? Or not?
They haven't.
They haven't.
They haven't. I thought they said that they were going to, or they were ready to, but we haven't had any
They
communication.
didn't have a drawing at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Shannon said he needs a drawing so he can issue a building permit, and I don't think he's received the drawing yet.
So maybe there needs to be a letter to them
Could we give them
asking where they're at.
a date of some kind that
Yeah,
they need to take? What do you think? What date are you thinking, Greg?
I think if we send them a letter and tell them that by the February meeting, we need a plan of what they're going to do in 2026. I think Shannon could report on what the plan is from a building perspective and from a nuisance review board meeting at the next meeting. So I think sending them a letter to get a update on what their building plans are for the next 6 months or for this summer is what we should ask for.
That's a good idea, Greg. And if, Ron, and if we had them here, we could react, we could give them some direction and know where they're coming from and so on. I think discussion would be good if they would be here, yeah. Otherwise, the door is open.
we'll send them a letter asking for a plan by our next meeting.
Good
Is
idea.
that okay?
I think, good idea.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, board comments?
Under board comments, I guess what I wanted to mention in getting ready for today's meeting, I kind of looked back 2025 and just 2025 is the first year this board's officially been in operation for a full year. We started in 2024 for a few months, but 2025 was the first full month. And if I remember, we met every month in 2025 because we even met in December when some boards didn't meet. So I think looking back at the number of properties and just going through the spreadsheet that I had put together, we are making progress. If we weren't doing what we're doing, think of those 40 properties that we discussed, where they would be. Probably nothing would have happened. So we're making progress. What we talked about in December, and you referenced it, Dwight, with some of the questions about campers and boats and stuff. I've said a couple times, and I said at the December meeting, the way ordinance 781 is written in those areas, I think needs to be revisited, needs to be refined. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to look like because it's a city council thing. The city council is going to have to vote and enact something. So after our December meeting, I've talked with the mayor, I've talked with Shannon, I've talked with Dave individually. We need to go get some ordinances from Decatur, from Bluffton. You know, I know somebody that works for the city of Coldwater, Ohio. I'd like to know what they have in place and start looking at some of those. And is there a better mousetrap for what we're trying to do that it makes it a little more enforceable for the police department and us than we currently have in place? I personally don't, and again, this is Ron's opinion, I don't like that we've got boats and campers and trailers and just like 6 or 7 storage units all in one thing, because I think they're a little different and maybe there should be different approaches for certain things. But again, that's just my opinion. But to what we talked about earlier, John, we have kind of informally started that process.
You're right, Ron.
But we need to
Right.
keep
Agree.
moving on it, and we need to make it formal. And honestly, it's a lot of information. If you haven't read 781 front to back, it's, you know, almost 20 some pages. I don't think it would be a bad idea, Calla or Kelly or whoever, if we would send the nuisance review board a copy of the current ordinance, so you can be looking at it and can come with suggestions to the February meeting if there are things you would like to see city council, you know, look at. But that's what I've started doing, because I told John at the December meeting, as a city council rep on this board, I would start nudging that forward. So we need to nudge and push and get it refined. So that's what I wanted to say.
Good thoughts, Ron.
Well, the other thing that's beneficial about comparing to other communities, not that we are these other communities, but depending on how they deal with like campers and trailers and boats. When our citizens say, "Why are you picking on me?" We're not the only ones. It's what municipalities that care have in their ordinance.
So we'll continue to pursue that.
Good.
Okay.
Good. So we're leaving on a positive note.
Any other comments from the
Great way
board?
to start the year, John.
Any other comments from the board?
Somebody here, John?
You,
No,
they want to
That's his
adjourn.
motion.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
You got it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Okay, guys.
Opposed, same sign.
Right on time.
Be interesting what